Wow.
No notes.
Well, no notes. Thank you, Jen. I got about a minute. Jeez Louise.
We do have a hard out in 3
We
minutes.
do, right?
Yeah, and mine runs about 4.
Yeah.
So
We're lucky to get Jason out of the house, by the way. This is a true story. If we're after 4 o'clock, he's in his pajamas and slippers. That's also a true story. Boy, I'm happy to be here today. Out here on Hollywood Boulevard is something I never thought I'd say. Imagine that we are living in a world where a corrupt real estate magnate can get away with treason while his idiotic children run his empire like puppets. Doesn't that sound crazy? For all the people out there who've drawn parallels between that gang of clowns over in the White House and the Bluth family over on Arrested Development, think on this. If Job, as some people have suggested, if Job is Don Jr., then Buster is Eric, and that makes Michael Ivanka. Which
Thank you.
which makes sense to me,
And you're Jared.
you know, and Amanda is Jared, but that makes sense. Both very goal-oriented, and I also think that you're hotter. I think you're hotter than Ivanka, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. You know, I remember the first time I watched Family Ties as a kid, and I saw Justine Bateman, and I thought, boy, wonder if she's got a brother. You know? Actually, the truth is, this is a true story. First time I met Jason was over 20 years ago, and he was doing a guest spot on a show called Ned and Stacy. You remember that?
That's great.
Yeah, and let's hear it, right? Like you remember. And so I had a friend on the show, and we went to a taping, and I saw Jason. He was terrific on the show. We went for a couple drinks afterwards, and I remember we made a reel. You got that? Thank you. I won't bend down. We made a real connection that night. He and I. We had a couple cocktails, and then a couple more. And then all of a sudden, Jason just popped in his car, real fancy car, and he blasted out of there all gassed up. And I thought, boy, this guy's a real loose cannon. And I admire that. We met again years later on Arrested Development doing the pilot, and I was like, dude, it's me, remember? The guy that you got drunk with in the bar? And I guess I should have been more specific. Apparently it was a theme. You know, this is exciting to be here. Today's a really big day for Jason. Bigger than the day that Deadline Hollywood got their own app. That was a really big day for Jason. He loves his Hollywood news. But today is the culmination of a lifetime of work, represented by a piece of stone. Today's retirement, you're retiring, right? Is that what it is? I don't know what it is really. Whatever it is today, Jason is very deserving of being here. He's such a talent. And I can honestly say, and this is not a bit, that he has taught me a lot. But when I think back today on our first encounter all those years ago, the first thing that really struck me about Jason when I got to know him was how funny he was. Always. I've been blessed to know a lot of funny people in my life, and Jason is right near the top of that list. Truly, nobody makes me laugh harder, deeper, in a more profound way than this man right here. You know, Jason and I did get in one fight. I'm not really sure what it was about, just that I was right. But I do remember that we stormed away from each other all angry, got into our cars and drove away, actually. We didn't talk for a couple days, and we were both kind of grumpy, see each other at work, and it was really awkward. Then we worked it out. We just talked about it, and we hugged like brothers, because that's what brothers do. I was always also really struck by how much Jason appreciates family. You know, he drove me to LAX once after we'd done a table read for an animated show that we did, and I told him I had something to tell him, so he drove me to the airport. And if you live here in Los Angeles, you know that that's a big deal. And I told him on that trip to the airport that I was about to have my first son. He was the first friend that I told, and it was a really special moment. And Jason couldn't have been happier for me. And that to Jason is the real sign of success, family. Jason is blessed with a beautiful family. Amanda, Maple, Franny, Aline Kishishian, Lighthouse Entertainment, Tom Holberman from Holberman, Hanson, Jacobson, Teller, Holberman, Newman, Warren, Richmond, Rush and Collar, LLP, Rick Hertzman, and Richard Lovett, the whole gang on Team Bateman over at CAA. That's his family. There's nobody that I know that deserves this star more than Jason, other than me. And today I am very, very happy for my brother.